We're talking Monday Night Football. Now through the end of Monday Night Football, we've got a promo code for 20% off the entire site of picksandparlays.net. Use the code FALL, F-A-L-L. Falcons at Packers. The Pack favor in this one, -7. The total is 56.5. One of the highest totals of the season, I believe. We've got Lee from ASA joining us to talk this Monday night matchup. Lee, initial leanings when you see these two teams on paper?
Well, this is interesting, and contrary to what I would normally do, if I see a number this high, I'm automatically thinking under. But in this case, I'm going to make an exception and play over in this one with a slight lean there. But I woke up Monday morning, and the two surprises that I had when I looked at the lines and opened the newspaper for the day, one, I thought Dan Quinn would be fired for the Atlanta Falcons. That surprised me that he wasn't. And two, this number. So when I saw the opening number of 58, I immediately jumped on my computer and started digging through my database, which goes back to 1980, if you can believe. Since 1980, there's been approximately 20,000 NFL games. 62 have had a total of 57 or higher. So it doesn't happen very often. And the interesting point is, of those 62 games, the over-under record is 40, 20, and 2 to the over. This is the highest total in the NFL since 2018. Highest opening total of 58. Now, it has trended down a little bit. You might see 56.5 or 57, but that opening number of 58 was startling for me. It's the second highest total ever for Green Bay. The highest total prior to this was in 2017 against the same Atlanta team, and they scored 65 points in that game and went over. So, yeah, it's a interesting number. I think it's warranted to bet over. NFL games right now are averaging 51 points per game. Overs are 30, 18, and 1 on the season. In comparison, the average totals set this season, the first week was 45.5, and now Vegas has adjusted up to 51 because the teams are scoring so many points. I think they've adjusted for this game, but I don't think it's enough. So I would lean towards the over in this one. I do expect both teams to score. Aaron Rodgers obviously has been outstanding. Atlanta can score. They've got weapons with Julio Jones and Matt Ryan. Unfortunately, they've given up a 15 and a 16-point lead in the fourth quarter in their last couple of games. But I do expect them to score. The defense hasn't been great, but yeah.
All the numbers on this one point to an over, but like you said, that number was so high, so I kind of did some digging. I looked at the team totals for both teams. The Packers was 32, which is really high. That means they really can't have one bad quarter, but the Falcons was only 25, and I think the Falcons offense can score enough points to get to 25 on this one, because I think we're going to see a high-scoring game in general. And plus, no one talks about it, but this Green Bay defense, not good. And especially since they played the Saints and the Lions without two of their best receivers. They played the Saints without Michael Thomas, and they played the Lions without Kenny Golladay. And they've given up 30 points or more in two of their three games, the Packers defense, that is. And that's even without those top receivers. And then you have the Falcons, who have two of the best receivers in the entire league, and Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley. Both of those, I'm looking at all their receivers. Julio Jones is coming back this week after missing last week with a hamstring injury. And Calvin Ridley has been limited in practice. But I think if both of those guys play, that this Falcons offense can really get going and it score at least 25 points. I don't know if I'd take a side in this one, just because, as you mentioned, the Falcons have been so terrible in the fourth quarter. But yeah, I think that's a way to kind of go around that and cherry pick some of the stats that I like.
Interesting point. Green Bay is first in the NFL in yards per play and last in yards per play defense. So you hit it right on the head. Their defense has not been good. Atlanta will score in this game also.
And Julio Jones has been really good against the Packers in general in his career. 5 games, I believe, with over 100 yards receiving. Actually, 6 games versus the Packers. He had over 100 yards. And then in the NFC Championship in 2016, 180 yards, 259 yards in 2014. So he's really torched this Packers secondary over the years. So I think he can have another big one here.
Yeah, I would agree.
Well, it should be a good one. And normally I'd say take the Packers. But last season, I remember the Packers started the season 3-0. And then they lost to the Eagles. So that's the only reason why I'd be a little cautious with the Packers. I think eventually they've got to slow down. Maybe it's not this week, maybe it's not next week, but I just like a team total a little better on this one. That's going to do it for our football talk here on Picks and Parlays. Good stuff from Lee. Lee, thanks for joining us.